Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are keeping safe. It is always good to come together to support each other during challenging times. It is wonderful when one knows that they are not alone. So I'm hoping that those that need to receive this message really realize this. To all those women who have been going through an abusive situation, I just want to say I feel your pain. I myself am a survivor of the worst kind of gender-based violence. It's a bit of a horror story where I was burnt with boiling water, and that caused something called septicemia, where all of my organs failed and I ended up in a coma for about a month. My mom tells me that the doctors recommended to pull me off life support because there was no chance I would survive, but my entire family refused, luckily. So you could say I'm living in borrowed time right now. Sadly, this was not the end of it. My ex also got me fired by defaming me, so he really did get what he wanted, to hurt me physically, emotionally, and financially. So my message today is very clear. As much as this was, a close call to a death experience and very, very traumatic, where he tried to hurt me and wouldn't stop, so he defamed me over and over again. But I did eventually get out. There was even an instance where he broke a bathroom door onto me when I was 8 months pregnant, and that barely missed my baby. He only really stopped when there was a third protection order and a warrant of arrest granted by a magistrate. So, yeah, it was really hard sitting in all those rooms and chambers with other women, waiting for some sort of justice. I had to fight really hard to get that justice. And, it was also very, very hard being fired and treated like I was completely insignificant. And at the time, I believed that I was lower than dirt, as that is what my ex told me every day without failure. But I want you to know, whoever you are that is going through this very same experience, that God thinks you're beautiful and that He wants you to feel happy. When you have that cold, ugly feeling inside of you, it means you're not in alignment with God. He doesn't want you to feel that way. And God is more anxious to accept us than we are anxious to accept Him. So He loves you, and He's waiting for you to turn your focus inward and find Him. Even though He's always there for you, perhaps even unbeknown to you at times, He does expect you to have some self-respect and to consider yourself as His child. So in that regard, you have the right to be treated fairly and kindly with love. So please trust in His mercy and know that no matter how bad your situation is, there always is a way out, and you must never stop until you get out of that toxic situation, whatever it is. Forget trying to change someone who has done the same thing for years, again and again, and who always promises that, this time he will change and everything will be better. You see, change actually starts with you. And I will say this much: once you close that door, others open. I have learned the hard way that the only direction from rock bottom is upward. So please find your way back home, back to who you really are as a person in this beautiful universe, to your life purpose on this earth, and find your way back to God. There are support groups like SA Women Fight Back. You can go onto Facebook and you can search for them. They really, really support women of abuse. And then you realize that you're never alone. They say that thought creates reality. So imagine yourself really happy with people around you that care and treat you like the loving, sweet being that you were born to be. Start to believe again in the wonder of God's creation. Start to see His miracles everywhere. Be mindful and be present by not thinking incessantly about the past, because you can do absolutely nothing about it. Just remember, the earth continues its orbit around the sun without anyone's actions. This is the hand of life. This is God. So He's all-powerful and merciful, and He wants you to pull yourself out of the darkness and back into the light. I was able to do it with my daughter, and that means that you can too. May God be with you all. Thank you, and be blessed.